Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Simplay Motorsport. Here for the second night of practice, then, for these guys, the chance to get out on circuit in their pro category cars and just see what these guys can do. And let's see then what they're capable of. We've only got 9 cars in the session at the moment. A few more hopefully will join us throughout the night. You will notice Mazda there. Mazda is a wild card entry for Phil, who will be competing at one of the 2 tracks he misses. And obviously Mazda will score half points like Welchie did for Sutty last season. Mazda is doing it this year for Phil. And that isn't the worst person to have in the car to be driving it for you. Mazda very capable of what he's doing. I'm joined in the commentary box tonight by a very, very special guest. It's Liam Gamer. Evening, Liam.
Evening, Matt.
Are you well?
I'm doing okay. What about you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, thanks, buddy. I'm not too bad. Obviously you got out on the track last night. I got some testing in. What are you looking for tonight from these lads?
Hopefully good results then. I'm thinking on this track they should be doing 57, no, maybe below 57s. Between 55, 58.
Obviously these guys can use the setups, full setups to them this season. Obviously it was just downforce for the pro guys last season, but they have full choice of setup this season. As you can see, Mazda currently running in his McLaren. Is he on his traditional settings? Obviously he's got restrictions on his car for next season anyway, but we'll see what Mazda will be running like compared to the pro guys in his McLaren already. We'll have to keep an eye on that as we go through the evening then. 10 guys on the track, so let's just run you through who is on the circuit. Then we've got Little Leach currently sat in the pits at the moment. Phil is out on track. Excuse me. We've got Andy as well. Andy, obviously regular commentator here at Simplay Motorsport last year, but taken to the track this season in the pro category, and I'm interested to see what he can do in his yellow and black Lamborghini. We've got D Biggs, part of Shake and Bake Motorsport, independent last season but teaming up with AH leaving the BMW and choosing the Porsche. We've also got the only G obviously came in the back end of last season, couldn't score points or qualify, but this year he has everything to play for. We've also got the pro champion in the house, Gary 131, the man that everybody wants to be. The champ is here, so to say. We've got Mazda obviously in as a bit of a test session, because I do believe Sutty Apex isn't around today to participate. We've also got Mr. Sandbags himself, Peaceful Explosion, who's having a bit of pedal problems tonight, saying that the pedal's just sticking on a little bit on the brake and accelerator. I know exactly how he feels having a G29 myself. You'll have to make sure that the dust might need cleaning from underneath them, so keep your eyes out for him. We've got an Orthodubs in the Ferrari, brand new entry car to the season at Simplay Motorsport. The Ferrari teaming up with Fury, obviously. What am I trying to say here? Independent last season, running in a team this year for FU Motorsport, FU Racing. Sorry, Fury on Orthodubs Racing. And we've also got the Pro-Am champion, the man who's can't defend his title but can surely push for the tier above him, and it's Big Boy Brazier in the Lamborghini, but not in the colours we expected him in from last season, the colour of pink, white and black. And I can confirm today we have got the team names for every single car in the pro category, so let me just run you through these team names quickly. Liam, who do you like the look of going into the pro season to win it?
I would say Big Boy Brazier, purely from what times he was doing in the pro and in the Pro-Am, and what times I've seen him do when he's been racing against the pro as well.
Interesting. I think you can't look much further than Jamie, but you've also got G Gary in that one as well. Sutty, of course, a big name to have in there, and we'll see if anybody else can make the difference in the season. So I can confirm in the pink, white and black with the yellow wing mirrors and yellow trim on the side of his car, Jamie Brazier. There he is, the pink, white. You see the yellow on the trim and the wing mirrors on the side of the rear wing for Big Boy Brazier, who's currently half a second slower than Mazda. Mazda might be running that McLaren on full power at the moment. His teammate Keegs, not currently here at the moment, has been invited, so hopefully he'll turn up. He's running the 117 car. It is just a pink trim on that one then. looking elsewhere on the grid. We've got Welshie and Deeks currently not on the session at the moment. In the Acora, brand new car for these two, being promoted from the Pro-Am season last year into the Pro. Them guys running in the Acora in number 162 for Welshie and 161 for Deeks. We've then got in the Pro confirmed Leach Motorsport, the champions, Gary and Craig. Or Gary and Little Leach, should I say, running in their traditional colours that they ran in last season, as we've just got Fury enter the session. They are confirmed in their colours then. We've also got Shake and Bake Motorsport, probably my favourite name on the calendar this season. AH, like I said, not in the Porsche is one to think about, but D-Biggs as well going into the Porsche. D-Biggs running the 912 with the red trim, and AH will be running the black trim in the 911 Porsche when he gets on, or when the season starts. Also Sooty Apex and Phil for Run Flat Racing, the 2020 championship runner-up. Sooty Apex, what can he do next season? Is he going to be a man to be reckoned with? Let's wait and see. Keeping the Lamborghini and keeping their traditional Lamborghini colours of the black with orange trim for Phil and the black and green for Sooty Apex. We've also got Forever Forward Racing in the white and blue Mercedes of Peaceful Explosion, sticking with the Merc. Was successful in it last year, at times one of the most consistent drivers on the grid, but a change of livery this season for him, running in the number 4 white and blue Mercedes, and his teammate, probably one of the favourites for the season, the Only G, in the blue and yellow Mercedes-Benz liveried car there. A heck of a colour that one is. We've also got the likes of FU Racing, like I said, Fury and Unorthodox. Unorthodox in the number 42 car. I'm not quite sure on the difference of these two trims. I'm not quite sure what makes it different. We can't quite see Fury yet. Fury in the number 2 Ferrari. His number on the side of his door is red, and Fury's Unorthodox is white. Bar that, looking at the picture, I can't tell much of a difference on the liveries. Not sure if Unorthodox is on track. No, he's not. He's in the pits. Yeah, there's not a lot on that car I can tell that makes a difference. We'll try and find out on circuit today. We have got the class of 97 as well, which is Andy and Emo Guy. Andy obviously running in the black and yellow Lamborghini, the number 77 car, beautiful coloured car in the black and yellow, and Fury running the 666 red and black liveried machine. A flash of the lights there from Andy, he's listening. And I do believe that is potentially all the teams that we have gone through there. Whose car do you like the look of the most? What livery takes your fancy there, Liam?
I do quite like the purple and black one, not pink, but Andy's had a bit of a spin. I do also like the colour of Andy's car as well.
It is nice. It is nice to see. Mazda currently topping the times at the moment with a 56.8, followed by Big Boy Brazier, who's on a 57.3 at the moment. Unorthodox in a 59.7, 2 seconds off the pace, with Phil down in P4, 2 minute 0.3, as D Biggs has just gone into third place now, with a 58.8. Michael Matthews, be right back, still got pedal issues, so he's probably going to have to try and get the hoover on the pedals, get a bit of dust cleared from underneath. It's just causing a bit of the brakes to come on or be applied a bit too much in a straight line. I've had that myself. Andy currently running P6 on a 2:05.7 with Fury, Little Each G, Gary and Peaceful Explosion not yet setting a lap time. We've got an hour and 6 minutes remaining in this practice session, followed by an 8-lap race, just to get the juices flowing as we head to the Nürburgring next season. Liam, you debuted at the Nürburgring in season 1. You've obviously gone on to take a few podiums from then and good results from then. What was it you enjoyed about this circuit?
Just how many, how many turns there has been on this track, how complex you could see some of the turns are.
Oh, we've got Deeks in just now. The bit of lag means that someone's just joined the session. JR Sim Racing, nice to have you here again, buddy. Andy, foot down, he says, as there is Deeks in the yellow and white Acora. Then, yeah, you made your debut here last season. You've gone on to bigger things since then. You took a few podiums later in the season. How did you find season 1? Obviously new to sim racing, so how did you find the first season?
I found the first season very good, and I thought it was a very good experience for my first season in Simplay racing in a nutshell.
You obviously go to the wheel for this season instead of the pad from last year. How's the confidence for the wheel? Are you feeling up for it? Feeling up for the challenge?
Yes and no. I've played around with settings all just to try and make it so it feels better. I still feel like I'm doing better on pad. I feel like I've got more control and stuff, but if I want to get more successful, I need to learn wheel, go from there.
Yeah, I'm just looking at your results. You had a 5th and a 6th at Nürburgring last season, so not a bad debut for yourself, as we see Big Boy Brazier just entering the exit to the chicane and coming up towards the final corner. Fury's granddad's with us again. Evening all, I like Fury's car with a laughing emoji. Evening to you as well, Fury's granddad. Nice to have you here again with us. Big Boy Brazier down the start straight, was just about to cross the line. We missed that one, but he didn't go any quicker. No improvement from him, as there was Fury with Phil just behind a moment ago. But yeah, 5th and a 6th for you. Your teammate Rabbit Joe didn't come in until Spa. You're obviously teamed up again this year, but running in a three-way team at the moment. Obviously Keegs and Jamie Brazier running in Launch Racing A, and you and Joe running in Launch Racing B, with Mazda and Holty running in Launch Racing C. Whose decision was that, and who sort of got you to be part of like a three-way team?
It was all Mazda that actually put us into the three-way team. He asked me and Joe, obviously he asked Keats to be a part of it, and then he's had to move down into the Pro-Am for now. I expect him to go back up.
Yeah, no, I think we all expect Mazda to go up and do quite well next season. 12 drivers in the session so far, 4 more slots for the guys who aren't on as of yet. But Mazda currently setting the pace. Jamie Brazier only half second behind, and then it's a big gap. Unorthodox has just jumped up into P3, 1.9 off the pace, 158.7. And it was interesting to note something last week. We was doing a bit of testing around Snetterton 300, the track we go to for the second race of the season. G had sent everybody the setup for his Mercedes, but it actually loaded on Dan's Ferrari. So it actually loaded on an Orthodox Ferrari. I'm not sure why, but it loaded up for that. So we'll have to see what people setups can do this year, because obviously setup's a big factor that Liam this year, not just downforce, changing a bit of front or rear downforce. It's all the setup of the car now for these pro guys to play with, so a lot of things to think about going into each race. As Andy has just gone quickest overall at the moment and is only 400ths quicker than Mazda so far, but a good time from Andy then as Big Boy Brazier pulls one back into the pit lane. Oh, that's D Biggs who's had a bit of a spin. That's coming into turn 3. There's Gary, the current pro champion, 7th place. Also, Leach Motorsport, the constructors champions as well. What can Gary do to defend his championship? Is Gary someone you can see challenging for his title this year, or do you think with the introduction of new drivers and other people, Gary's not going to be anywhere near his chances?
I would say Gary's got a massive advantage over alt drivers, but I think with Jamie coming in this season after all times he's done, I think he might have a little bit of a challenge.
I think you're right. Obviously Gary probably got gifted the title last year. He didn't go down the fight we wanted, obviously with Mazda dropping out, having his shifts changed at work. He's had them changed again, so he's back with us. Obviously we're all in lockdown as well, so hope everybody is doing well. Hope everybody is doing well in the current lockdown situations at the moment. But this is a time for these guys now just to get out on track and just to get a bit more testing under their belt. We have got an hour left in the session. We are with you for an hour and a bit tonight. Obviously an 8-lap race after this one. For those who want to participate, they don't have to if they don't want to. It is all just testing for next week going forward as we see Mazda cross the line. McLaren at full pace tonight. Let's see what that McLaren's capable of. Now, fun fact about Mazda at the moment, the only reason he's racing the McLaren is he's ordered the McLaren rig for the Fanatec, so the extra wheel. And that's why he's chose to go with the McLaren. Probably got a McLaren shirt on order as well, whether it's GT3 or Formula 1, I'm not sure. But he's probably got one on order. And obviously the other thing that the pro guys don't have compared to the Pro-Am, Liam, is the restrictions of track limits. Obviously, they've got to. It will get reported and monitored by everybody who feel that drivers have taken too much track limits, but that's something that you don't get as much. You won't get the thing coming up saying slow down penalty this in the Pro Series.
Now, all track limits, is it called again?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they can get irritating at times, but being in pro, you should know where track limits are and everything. Yeah. So, yeah.
We've got a comment just coming from Bethany Ann Duffin. Gary all the way. I'm not surprised to see her here piping up with the Gary comment. Big Gary fan is Bethany Duffin. 12 people watching. Guys, hit that thumbs up button. Let's get this video to as many likes as possible. Obviously, just a practice session tonight. Nothing seriousness. That gets started next week. We're kicking off on the Pro-Am Wednesday night at 8 PM, where Liam himself will be participating. I'll be joined in the commentary box by Andy, the usual commentator and my partner in crime in the commentary box. It does feel a bit strange having someone else in the commentary box, but nonetheless, I appreciate Liam being here. Here is Andy, currently the pole man, the quickest in the practice session so far. Just finally tweaking the setup of the Lamborghini to suit him. And there's 6 Lamborghinis on the pro circuit this year. Obviously last year we had pretty much 2 cars apiece, bar the 3 BMWs, 3 Porsches. But there's 6 Lamborghinis this season, Liam. Obviously you raced in the Pro-Am last year where majority of the field was Lamborghini. 6 Lamborghinis, does that put them a better advantage for the team's championships for them? Or in the pro group is it just widely open to anybody?
In the pro group, I would say widely open to anybody. Lamborghini, I would say if you're in Pro-Am, Lamborghini.
Lamborghini's what?
I would say Lamborghini is probably a quicker car, but no, yeah. I don't know.
I get what you mean. Gary currently down in 9th place at the moment, possibly just tweaking a setup for next week. Gary's favourite circuit comes up, so let me give you the calendar then for next season. And I apologise, we've not got all the overlays and things like we normally have here at Simplay Motorsport. The PC is currently down, and we will hope to have the PC up by the end of the week, ready for next week for the stream. But we start here at the Nürburgring on the 13th and 14th of January. We then head to Snetterton on the 20th and 21st of Jan. We then go to our first night race of the season at Daytona Road Course, the 27th and the 28th of January. Then it's over to Algarve Grand Prix circuit for the 3rd and 4th of February. We're then at the second night race of the season, the Circuit of the Americas, as we have just got Welshie in now. So the DW Motorsport are in the house. And if Welshie and Deeks both on the wheel as well this year, not on the pad, on the wheel. So Welshie's got no excuses over dropping it or not in this one. But we head to Circuit of America for round 5 for the second night race on the 10th and 11th of February. Alton Park is then our next destination on the 17th and 18th of Feb, with Long Beach, an evening race at Long Beach. So sort of sun setting at Long Beach. It'd be nice to see. It'd be nice sort of weather with the sun setting if it's clear. Obviously the weather is currently live weather that we're doing this season. We're not just randomly picking the weather like I did last season. The weather will be live weather, as here comes D Biggs to cross the line now and doesn't improve on his lap time, stays 2.1 off the leader's pace at the moment. We then head to the Indianapolis Road Course on the 10th and 11th of March. There is a bit of a break in between them two. A sort of mid-season break, even though it's the back end of the season. Mid-season break after Long Beach on the 24th, 25th of Feb. We then go to Imola. It was the final race of the season last year where Gary took his title and Jamie Brazier. This year it's not. It's third from last, 17th and 18th of March. Then it's over to Bathurst, where the conditions will be early morning in Australia. Obviously to be late at night here, but it'll be early morning Australia time, and that's the time we're kind of going with. So the sun will just be rising over in Mount Panorama, and that'll be an interesting one to do. That's the 24th and 25th of March, and we close the season in New Zealand at Rapuna Park on the 31st of March and the 1st of April. Who will be playing a few April's Fools on that day? Let's wait and see. But at the moment we have Andy quickest by 0.04 of a second as Mazda comes across the line and goes quicker than Andy by 1/10 of a second. Heck of a lap time that is from Mazda. He's done absolute bits so far in his McLaren. And it's Andy currently P2 in the pits. Big Boy Brazy third. Gary's got himself up into 4th. Now the top 5 separated by 0.9 of a second here, and really are nothing to split from them at the moment. Gary obviously used to playing with downforce last season, has the full setup, Liam. You've obviously not got the opportunity to play with the setups for a second season, but what changes do you think Gary could make this year that he has to adapt to with the likes of G and Brazier coming into it?
Well, there's the fuel, the downforce.
I didn't mean setup wise, I meant in himself.
I personally wouldn't say he needs to really change anything. As long as he's going he's got the same mindset as last season of winning, he should be all set.
As Gary comes across the line then and takes that time within 0.2 of a second. Obviously Mazda's only filling in for Phil for one race, so let's take Mazda's time out of this. That would technically put Andy Pole of the Pro Group and Gary in P2, but on the night at the moment Gary's sitting in 3rd place with Big Boy Brazier up, down into 4th. Now currently sat in the pit lane. We've got G out on track, not yet set a time, neither has Welshie or Peaceful Explosion. Obviously we know Peaceful's having pedal problems at the moment. Here comes G. Is G going to complete a lap time at the moment? Let's see as he's coming across the line now. No, he's just started a lap, so we'll have to see what G can do from here. There is a car coming out the pits. The other addition to this season is manual pit stops, Liam. So the manual pit entry coming in and out the pits is not automated anymore. It's not automatic. It's all done by you drivers. How do you think people have adapted to that, and how have you adapted to that yourself?
I at first didn't think it was the best. I've adapted to it now, so it's all fine. I think all other drivers have adapted to it. It does mean people get penalties a lot easier, but through the season they'll learn it properly.
I know what you're trying to say. So then we've got a few drivers out on track at the moment. Here is Gary just coming to the final chicane. We'll stay with him for the end of this lap. Can he improve? He improved last time around. He needs 0.2 to get the pole away from Mazda. There's obviously 4 Porsches on the grid this year as well. You're in the Porsche yourself. Good car to drive?
I would say control-wise for me, I feel like it's very nice to control. I know there's people that would probably say it's not the nicest car to control. Everyone has their preferences. I know my preference at the moment is Porsche. Your preference is the Acura?
Acura, yeah.
But as I say, everyone's got their own preferences, so whatever they feel like they're good in.
Oh,
who's that?
D Biggs just had a bit of a spin there. Currently sat P6. He's returned into the pit box. Gary didn't improve last time. There is 2 Acuras in the Pro Group this year. Obviously last year we saw Dean Wasaki and Monkey Boy in the Pro Group, but this year we have Deeks and Welshie, the 2 guys coming up from the Pro-Am category. Deeks just a bit of time off of Phil at the moment, and have we seen the best from Phil yet, or is he just working on a setup? Now Phil has actually had a blinder at the moment due to the lockdown and current restrictions around due to work. He was set to miss 4 races, then with Monaco being dropped it changed to 3 because of lockdown and the way his work has gone. He now only misses 2, so Mazda only needs to score half points for 1 race at the moment, so it's not too bad for Phil. Here is Maz in his McLaren. That McLaren sounds absolutely lovely. Now a thing to note with Mazda is that he is racing with Holty, but Holty's there only every other week due to work at the moment himself, so Holty will take part in the season, but obviously only every other week. Is Mazda your favourite for the Pro-Am title?
Definitely.
Or with the likes of yourself, Joe, Monkey Boy, Kieran, Dean, DJ Phil and all the other guys that's in there, do any of them take your fancy?
Mazda's definitely one that I would say most likely to go up. Joe at the moment is looking quite quick on this track. I think the fastest time he's pulled is 1:59.8, if I'm correct.
I think so. I think that's what he told me the other day. Yeah.
As I say, Mazda, Joe, who else? We got Kieran. He's been doing
yeah, he's been getting better. Yeah, getting in the wheel this year. A lot of people's got the wheel, so a lot of people running a new wheel for this season, aren't they?
Yes. As I say, they learn the wheel and gain the points and the experience on wheel. They should get better in able.
I'm just going to look at the weather currently on my phone for next season. For next week, should I say? Sorry. There's obviously live weather this year, not just random weather that is randomly picked. It is live weather. So whatever the weather report is, that is what we're using. Is it just loading now? So looking ahead at the Pro-Am when it loads next week, the Pro-Am currently have clear conditions, just a bit of cloud at the moment, obviously running in the winter as well. And for the Pro guys, we've got fog at the moment. So clear conditions for yourself so far, Liam. What conditions would you like to have out there? Obviously a bit of snow could be forecast as well, but surely you'd want the clear conditions for your first race of the season.
To be fair, I would actually prefer the snow.
Really?
Yeah. We have done, well, I've done a lot of practice in the clear. I've done a little bit of practice in the snow, and to be fair, to me, clear, as much as clear is easier to race in, I would say snow would be a bit more exciting to race in.
Yeah, I'm with you. So you'd like to see the snow next week then?
Yep.
Fair play. I must admit that would be pretty fun to see the snow on circuit and see what people can do in them conditions compared to the other conditions that we've seen. Obviously, a lot of rain last season. With it being live weather this season, the guys don't really, I know a few people had a few comments about, can we have a few more dry races this year? Obviously, with going live weather, it's not down to me what happens, is it really? It's all down to what happens in real life.
Definitely. Makes it a bit more exciting.
It really does.
G, but it looks like they accidentally went over the line after the exit.
Here is Little Each. G's currently gone quickest, a 1:56.5, a tenth quicker than Mazda, 2 tenths quicker than Andy, 3 tenths quicker than Gary, and Big Boy Brazy half second behind. On Orthodox 8 tenths down. D-Big's 1.5 seconds off, so is Little Each. Fury's 1.8 off, Phil 2.9 off, and Deeks 3.7 off of the pole. Welshie and Peaceful not done a time yet. Peaceful obviously must still be playing around with the wheel, and this is why we've not seen any time from him at the moment. Oh, as Andy just lights up the rear of the car into the final corner there then. So not what Andy would have wanted there. Here's Mazda, a tenth down on G. 46 minutes remaining in this session, so plenty of time for people to get a setup, Liam, and get comfortable with that setup going into next week. Obviously I know we could have tested at any neutral track, but this really gives the guys a heads up for next week, and then after that it's really down to them in that week's time to get prepared with a setup.
Definitely, you have to test the track before you obviously get your setup.
You got to test in the conditions as well, haven't you?
Oh yeah, definitely the conditions as well. As I say, as you said, in fact, the weather is unpredictable as such. I don't know if you said it exactly like that, but it basically is unpredictable at this point, because obviously we're running with live weather.
Here comes Mazda then, and just want to congratulate Mazda on the birth of his son on Christmas Day of all days. A massive congratulations to him and his partner Abby. I'll mention it again next week. I know she watches the stream on young little Fabian Kaup, born on the 25th of December, so a massive congrats to him and his partner Abby. Here comes D Biggs then through the final chicane, currently half a second, currently 9/10. He's improved on his time since the last look. 9/10 currently off of the pole time and a couple of tenths off of moving up a few places here. Now what can D Biggs do as he comes across the start line? And no improvement there. Then Gary crosses the line just behind him and stays P4, 3/10 off of his best lap. Just going to go through the Pro-Am cars as well in just a moment. Just waiting for the image to load before we can confirm liveries as we see G back out on track. Teammates this year, of course, with Peaceful Explosion. So Peaceful gaining a very experienced teammate and a 32-time world record holder. Multiple champion himself on sim racing is G. Over numerous categories as well. So it's nice to see a driver of that calibre on the track, as Keegs has just joined the session now, so we've got Keegs in. See Andy here, currently P3 on the night. Interesting to see what Andy can do this season, Liam. Obviously running for the first time here at Simplay Motorsport. Obviously been in the commentary box all the last season alongside myself. It's going to be interesting to see what he can do in his car.
Definitely. After all commentating, I'm sure he knows what to do in a car.
We've got Dean Wysocki and DJ Phil Green teaming up in the number 33 and 78 Lamborghini for Pepsid Motorsport. We've then got NJ and Smithy. NJ, used to race with NJ. Nice to have NJ and Smithy back. So NJ and Smithy racing in Bossman Motorsport in the Lamborghini. Actually running in Jamie Brazier and Cam's livery from last year. Monkey Boy leaving the Acura and leaving his teammate Dean Wysocki to team up with Kieran Argent for the Forever Forward Racing B team then in the Mercedes-Benz. Running the same liveries as Peaceful and the Only G, but just Monkey Boy in the blue and yellow and Argent in the white with blue. We've then got Liam yourself with Rabbit Joe. That partnership staying together, and instead of it being TBT Motorsport, we've got Launch Racing B Team in the Porsche number 183 with the red, white and blue of Liam Gamer and the blue, white and red, blue, red and white, sorry, of Rabbit Joe, the number 182 car. Alfie and a teammate that is yet to be announced. We think it's Cam, but we're not 100% sure because he's not been in touch or anything. There is other drivers in talks. AA 3D Printing, that team stays on the grid and they stay in the Porsche, but a change of livery for them this season. That will be announced shortly as well, hopefully. We've got Lewis returning this season. Instead of being in the Porsche for the final few rounds, he's going into the Acura, so another Acura on the circuit. Part of DL Motorsport with Don Productions. Nice to see Don back running in the 25 and 26, the white and blue and the grey with green. We've then got number 92 and 93, MC Motorsport, the Pro-Am Constructors Champions, but with a twist this year. Aidan Bennett comes in for Welsh. Obviously Welsh making the jump up and Stealthsoft didn't. Aidan Bennett comes in and drives the yellow and green machine with Stealthsoft in the yellow and blue. And the final team in the Pro-Am, Mazda and Holty, all being well at the moment. We do believe that is set to be confirmed as Launch Racing C in the McLaren, with liveries which are, I do believe, the orange that he's in and another orange as well, with a bit more black and green on the side, I think, is the other orange livery. So 3 Lamborghinis on the grid, 2 sets of Porsches on the grid, a Mercedes, and a Acura and a McLaren, Liam. What car is going to be interesting for you? Obviously the McLaren making its debut at Simplay Motorsport. We've had the Porsche, we've had the Lambo, we've had the Acura on the grid before. The McLaren makes its debut. Are you going to be interested to see what Mazda can do in the McLaren?
Exactly. What's the word for it?
Oh, it's G. Sorry, just G's gone even quicker at the moment. G has done a 1:55.6. That is a heck of a lap from him. 9/10 quicker than Mazda now as he pulls to one side and will probably return to his pit box. But a heck of a lap from Mazda there. Either that or he's just getting a good shot for the cameras of his Mercedes-Benz. Not quite sure what he's doing here. Oh, we've just lost... Oh, we've lost Mazda. Maybe a connection problem. I did see him lag a bit, so maybe a connection problem for Mazda then. Peaceful's back out on track, so it'll be interesting to see what Peaceful Explosion can do. Let's see what he's capable of. We have got Keegs and Welshie as well, who haven't yet set a lap time. But what can Peaceful do? Hopefully he's fixed the pedals. Crosses the line now, and this will be to start a lap time. Hopefully we can get Mazda back in then. Phil crosses the line in the background, and no improvement from him. Still P9. Obviously now is Mazda is left, but on a 59.5. Just a couple of tenths he needs. About a second, no, sorry, 1.2 to gain off Fury. Excuse me, apologies. There is Peaceful and D Biggs. Oh, I've got the hiccups, excuse me. As Peaceful calls it back into the pits. Here's Unorthodox. Here's a man we love to watch. Normally upside down on his roof, but he's on all fours at the moment. And what is Unorthodox capable of so far? An LMP2 champion over at Motive Racing, as well as a Tier 2 Clio Cup runner-up, and I know he'll thank me for saying that one. Flashing of the lights, so he's listening as well. Tier 2, like I say, Tier 1 LMP2 champion at Motive, and it's not easy cars to drive, they aren't, but they've dropped them over at Motive this season, so he can't defend his title. Been replaced by the Formula Renault, so will he win in that one? Keep his Saturday night title alive. Or can he take the Pro Championship next season in this category? Currently P5 at the moment. Oh, excuse me, tonight. 38 minutes left in the session, so Master's got plenty of time to come in.
On the last turn.
Kieran has asked if there's plenty of room, can he have an invite? I'm just going to send Jamie a message.
And it looks like Keegs is also on track now, so he, if I'm right, will be doing his outlap.
Could be on a timed lap. He's been out for a while, I think. If anybody is watching, just give Kieran Argent22 an invite if there is room. There is room. There's 3 cars left ready to go. Hopefully we can get Mazda back in. So hopefully we can get him back in. Then here is Peaceful on track again. Hopefully he can get a lap time in as well. Deeks, Welshie, Big Boy Brazier in the pits as well. Little Leach has just come out to start his lap. Let's just stay on board Peaceful Explosion here then, as it did jump a little bit there. We've got Mazda back in. So has Mazda come back in the McLaren, or is he having a go in the Lamborghini ready to jump in Phil's car? Just we'll jump on Maz when he comes out the pits and see what car he's in. No, he's back in his McLaren, so that's good then. So Peaceful rounds the final corner. Now, is this a timed lap or an out lap? Let's wait and see. Now it was an out lap from him. There is Andy then, currently the P2 man, a second off the time of Mazda at the moment.
Flashing up the lights.
Listening to the stream. What we might have to do, Liam, is if you just leave the session and jump back in, it should then put you in as race director and be able to invite Kieran in, unless someone has heard me. We'll just give it a moment.
Oh.
Or have you left already?
I've already left.
Right, just invite Kieran in.
That's fine.
And see who else is on. I think Dean might be online.
So Kieran and Dean.
If Dean's on, yeah, I think he's just said he's on testing the Lambo. Get them in.
Might as well. The more the merrier, as should be said anyway.
Yeah, the more the merrier. Get the guys in from Pro-Am for a bit of a practice as well. And then you should still have the race director thing loaded, so you'll be able to just jump back in and get on it. As we see Andy currently going around the track still in his lovely yellow and black Lamborghini. As we see here then. So I just want to point out your results from the season last year and see if you think you can do any better. 5th, 6th, 7th, 5th, second at Daytona Road Course. That was a good race for you in the night. And a 4th as well to back that up, with an 8th, 7th, 9th, 3rd, 2nd, 7th, 5th, 5th, and then no points at Imola because you didn't finish them as for being on the wheel. Good season all in all. You took a fair few podiums last season. Couldn't quite get onto the top step, but I suppose it's hard when you got Jamie and Welshie and Deeks winning races. But you took 3 podiums all in all last season, 3 seconds and thirds. You must have been pleased with your achievements last year.
I was outstanding with how good I've done. To say, personally, this is the first proper racing game I've ever played. I've played some others, but this is the proper one that I've actually played. And I thought I've done amazing.
Yeah.
For what I have started anyway.
Yeah. Keegs and Peaceful have done a lap, 2:03 and a 2:05. Might be waiting for their tyres to warm up a bit to see what they've got. 33 minutes remain. Phil's still pumping in the laps. Just improved slightly as well by a couple of tenths there. A 1:58.5. So just a couple of tenths off a Little Each Fury and about a second off a D Biggs then going forward in this one. Looking at the pro category, Gary 6 wins, Mazda had 4 and Sutty had 5. It was quite close on the wins column for them. If Mazda would have stayed for the rest of the season, do you think Gary would have won the title, or do you think Mazda would have maybe nicked it from him?
I think it could have been a bit of a. I think it could have been a very big battle on Imola. I think it was called.
Yeah. Imola and Algarve, Mazda missed. 4 points was the difference going into Algarve, and Mazda missed both races. They're the final 4 races of the season. So do you think Mazda would have challenged Gary more for his title had he been there?
Definitely.
Yeah. Did you sent the invites, yeah?
Yeah, I've sent the invites.
Good lad. So currently on board Gary 131, sat P3 at the moment. Just a tenth off of Andy, but 1.1 off of the only G. As we've got Dean Wasocki. G's off massively there. We've got Dean Wasocki just come into the session, obviously in the Lamborghini. So we'll have to see how Dean gets on in the Demon Tweaks colours. So let's see what Dean is capable of. Here's Deeks in the Acura. Learning the wheel as well as Deeks into the Pro Series. So we are just, I think, waiting Kieran Argent to join. We'll see when Dean leaves the pit lane as to what he can do. Looking at Joe as well last year. Joe took his first podium at Imola, and you both got a pole position. You both sort of grew as the season went on, didn't you, last year? And obviously you both made the change to the wheel. You say Joe looks a bit more comfortable on it than you at the minute. Do you think Joe could score more than just the one podium next season, then maybe get a win?
I would definitely say he's going there for a win.
What a race 1 win or a reverse grid win? Obviously the race 1, everybody qualifies, everybody's the same.
Yeah.
Race 2, obviously half the grid can't qualify, so if there's 16 cars, 8 of them can't qualify. So is that a chance where you could maybe snatch a win as well if you're struggling on the wheel? As Mazda's just popped a time in good enough for P3 at the moment, but 1.177 slower than the only G at the moment. Yeah, could you see a race 2 winner maybe if you're not as comfortable on the wheel maybe?
Possibly. Depending on how comfortable I feel on the track and how comfortable I'm feeling on the wheel on the night,
yeah,
I could say I could possibly sneak in a race 2 win, definitely.
As here is Unorthodox. Still can't tell the difference between Unorthodox and Fury's Ferrari. Just flick back to Fury a second for me.
Yeah.
No, you see, I don't think there's much difference bar the number being red or white on the side of the car. Nothing really gives it away for me at the moment.
I think Dean... Oh, Walsh has done a time.
Yeah, Walsh has set a time of 2:01.4, currently quicker than Keegs and not far off the back of Peaceful Explosions. We've got Dean Wysocki out on track now, so let's see what Dean can do. Dean obviously running full default. He is allowed a choice of tyre, but running full default in that Lamborghini. How will Dean do against some of these lads' times tonight? What is Dean capable of? What do you think of Dean's chances? Obviously struggled a lot last year, had the race ban, had a few penalty point problems last season in the Pro Group. Do you think he could be more settled in the Pro-Am? Maybe a few more results for him could come his way and maybe take the odd podium or win?
Definitely, I reckon he's got... I can definitely say he's going to come within the top 8 to 5
of the championship.
Of the championship, yeah.
It's a very tight championship in both ones this year, isn't it? With the likes of Kieran, especially Kieran coming down to learning the wheel. Monkey Boy, Dean, yourself, Joe, Alfie, Aiden, Stealth Sloth, a lot of guys in there that are quite close in pace.
Yeah, I think it could be a very... how do I put it? Fun one to watch.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be very compact in what drivers are like.
It's going to be very much how you drive on the night, isn't it? To see as to what you can do on that night. Dean taking the first corner absolutely beautifully there. Comes round into turn 2. Nice and easy here on the throttle. Dean, of course, on the pad. I know he's been looking at the wheels, but not got one as of yet. And maybe that's a transition Dean could do with a wheel, you know. Maybe he might find himself a bit quicker, just a second or two quicker by the time he learns a wheel. Maybe that could be something Dean could look at, if not this season, maybe for season 3. Done so far in the first part of this section at the moment. And he looks good through there. That's nice from Dean so far at the moment. I know he was testing a few cars last night. Missed the deadline for the car announcement. So they've had to stick with the first choice of him and DJ Phil in the Lamborghini for Pepsi Motorsport. But it looks a tidy lap so far. That's probably the worst part of the track he's done at the moment. It's running a bit wide, but it's been a tidy lap, nice and clean so far, Liam.
Yeah, very nice.
See what lap time he can do. It looks good through the Schumacher S's. That's either Fury or Unorthodox just staying out the way there. They look like they've had a bit of an incident on the exit to the Schumacher S's. Through the left-hander he goes, now back into the right before hitting the back straight. Using all the curb there on the exit. Nicely done from Dean Wysocki there. He's now got the flat-out right-hander here. Takes that beautifully up towards the chicane there. Excuse me. 6 minutes left in this session. Into the chicane. Rides the curbs absolutely beautifully there. This has not been a bad lap from Dean Wysocki. I will say that. It'll be interesting to see where he puts his car in this session. Let's have a look. He comes down the start line now and he's about to start his next lap, and he currently goes quicker than Peaceful Walshy and Keegs with a 2:01.2. That's not a bad lap time, Liam, considering that he's in with the pro lads.
Definitely, definitely fortifies, I'd say the word is, of what position he would be in. Might want to get, because obviously this is just his first
timed lap, yeah.
Timed lap, so after the first lap you usually get quicker for a bit.
Yeah, just getting the temperatures and everything still up to tyres and everything still up to temperature, aren't you? You're still kind of working hard. Round lap 2 or 3 where he might feel the pace of the Lamborghini. I'm going to leave you in the hands of Liam, or unless Liam doesn't want to speak, because I know nerves can be a big thing in the commentary box. I'm just going to step away to the toilet for 2 seconds as Liam will flick you through the cameras.
Yep. Oh, lovely. So we've got Gary coming up to the chicane, if I'm correct. I might be getting that wrong. see if he can improve on his time. Oh, voice crack. On his time. Coming around that last corner. Did it quite nicely. Ooh. Coming over the line and goes up to P2. Well done. He's still 1 second off of the only G. We'll see if he can find that time. If I'm right, I've actually saw Gary do 55, or I'm not sure. Let's see who else is. Oh, who's that? Who's just left? Not sure. We've got Kieran Argent in the blue and white, blue, white, and black. Should I say livery? We've got Keegs in P14 coming out the pits right now with a cracked windshield. Oh, he's stopped. Oh, is that Kieran coming out? Yeah, that's Kieran coming out. So we'll go back to him when he is off his outlap, in fact. That's Phil coming up to the last turn. See if he can improve on his time. Making that last corner quite nicely. And I don't actually see any improvement.
No, but Gary has improved though, Liam, as I've just sat back down and noticed Gary's up into P2. Still got wheel problems for Mazda, for Peaceful Explosion, sorry. He's resetting the PS4, so let's see if Peaceful can get back on in time. He's got 23 seconds, so we shall see. But it's G from Gary from Andy, Mazda, Big Boy Brazier on Orthodox, D Biggs, Little Leach, Fury, Phil, Deeks, Dean. Is that Deeks Dean or Dean Deeks?
I don't know.
Deeks is P11, so it's Deeks, Dean, Welshie, Keegs, and then Kieran Argent down in P15. Here is Dean Wasocki.
Not doing too bad so far from what we've seen after he's only done one lap, but I think the most part that took him down on that first lap was actually when
the hairpin. Yeah. This might be his third timed lap. Let's see what Dean can do. Then in the low 201s, 2/10 quicker than Chris at the minute. So the text off Gary, G's too quick. You guys have got to get quicker then. As Dean Wasocki crosses the line and no improvement that time around. Needs about a second, 1.1 to get ahead of Deeks. As Deeks crosses the line and no improvement from him neither. As we have got Peaceful Explosion back in. So let's see what Peaceful can do late on in this session. Unorthodox then. P6 at the moment.
We've also had Kieran join, as I said earlier. If I'm right, he should be either in. But what if he'd done his outlap by now?
Possibly, yeah. I think he'd either that or he's had a steady outlap avoiding people. Although his car looks quite dirty, so it could be on a time lap. He doesn't look overly quick here. In fact, it looks like he's going to come into the pit lane. Yes, he is. Wonder if he's gone out on the hard tyre, knowing that the softs work a bit easier on the. Jamie Brazier really struggling to improve my lap time. Doesn't really help that I'm not very good with setups. Oh, bless you. Jamie seeming to struggle then. Keegs down in P14 in the Lamborghini. Now, when Jamie and Keegs was in discussions about what car to use, Keegs just went, you pick. I'll drive whatever. Keegs clearly feels comfortable in any car. In the pink mobile this season. The pink, white and black of Keegan.
And that looks like
that's Gary. Gary just behind, with Fury on Unorthodox just behind him. Unorthodox, I do believe. No, it was Fury then.
Yeah. Where is it? Got a bit of damage on front of that car.
Jamie Brazier's just said, "We are the Pink Panthers." The Pink Panthers. Oh, we've lost somebody from the session. Well, we've lost Keegs from the session.
Oh.
So I'm not sure what's happened to Keegs there then, but we lost Keegs from the session there.
Let's see what Andy's doing.
Yeah, Andy P4 at the minute as Mazda's gone into second, 6/10 off the back of the only G. So a heck of a lap time from Mazda at the moment.
Who runs out?
No, he was lagging, says Jamie, so I wonder if he's just lost connection. Then, has he got your internet, Jamie? Oh, Andy's had a moment as well. Rejoins the circuit. Where's Argent? Argent must be coming to the end of a lap by now. Yeah, he's mid sort of track. Now, is this since his pit stop? Let's wait and see if this is since his pit stop. What the lap time will be. Obviously, if it was his pit, if it's his out lap from the pits, then his lap time won't be too great. Deeks has improved a bit though into the 59.3s for Deeks at the moment.
59.
Yeah, broke the 2-minute barrier in the Acura. Still a bit of time off the back of Fury, about 1.5 off the back of Fury. But obviously still getting used to the wheel and getting to grips with that, as well as learning a new car. Was obviously in the Lamborghini last year on the pad. Now he's in the Acura. He took the Schumacher S's like an absolute pro there. Well, he is an absolute pro. He's in the pro category. If you had to look at this list without being harsh to any driver, who do you think you could see getting relegated back into the Pro-Am?
Oh, the problem with that is, I would say the pro drivers deserve where they are, and I wouldn't want to degrade them down and say this.
No, that's fair enough.
There.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Fury's Grandad just says Fury improved a bit but dropped a place due to Phil. So Fury did gain a bit of time then, but lost a place to Phil. So Phil improved even more. Dean's coming across the line now. Does Dean improve his time? Yes, 2/10 is improved by. Deeks crosses the line and doesn't improve his time. Got the same problem on the controller. Oh, I don't know what's going on for Peaceful Explosion. I'm not sure what's happening there with him.
Also just realised Kieran's actually done a time as well.
Yeah, that was an outlap from his pit stop that he would have done though. 51 seconds off the pace. I can't imagine that's his actual lap. But Dean improving to a 2-minute 1:040 then, 4/10 quicker than Welshie. So a few improvements down the bottom end, mid-pack of the field. Nothing really at the top. The top 8 have pretty much been the same for the majority. What can Gary do in his car to get out? Obviously, one man we're not seeing the pace of is old Graham Sutcliffe, Sutty Apex. We're not seeing the pace of him and what he's got in his Lamborghini. But for Gary tonight, it's all about that bit of practice, all about the fine-tuning going into next week. As it gets a bit of a slide coming into the left-right section there, down towards the hairpin. Peaceful Explosion out the pits then at the moment.
Taking it slow from what it looks like.
Yeah, I wonder if he's still testing to see what's going off. Obviously he's had a bit of pedal problems and said it's on the controller as well, so I wonder if he's just struggling a little bit. Who we've not seen for a while. Where's Little Each on track? What's Little Each doing at the minute? 1.9 off the pace so far. He's just crossed the line. We didn't see no improvement from him that time around. Obviously second driver of Leach Motorsport and the other part of the Constructors' Champions. Their cars and liveries have stayed the same, as is the driver lineup for next season. And for Little Leach, he's really sort of going to prove himself this year, I reckon, Liam. His brother obviously won the title. They won the Constructors. Little Leach was in that title fight for a while, till the back end of the season. He's one that could surprise a few people, I think, this year and really sort of put in a performance. Oh, as he just goes round. Just looking at Little Leach's performances throughout the season, actually took 8 podiums, one of them being a win. No fastest laps, no pole positions. So was very consistent in races. That's something that could do him some good this season, I reckon.
Definitely.
15 minutes remaining. We're back on board with Andy then. There's a few drivers in the pits at the moment. as we're into the final 15 minutes.
We've got quite a lot of the drivers, in fact, going on into the pits.
Gary's just gone into P2 and he's only 3/10 off the back of G, 55.9, the only other man to get into the 59s. So that is a heck of a lap from Gary 131 there. Great performance. We've lost Peaceful Explosion again, and I do believe Dean's dropped down to last place. Argent and Welshie have both improved their time, and Dean has dropped down into P14. Obviously Argent running in the Pro-Am as well, so the fact he's in a 59.9 shows good pace going into the Pro-Am season.
Definitely. As I said, he's quite high up there, I would say, for getting promoted again. Comes around the last turn to go across the line, see if he improves on his time.
Yeah, does he improve this time around? 4.2 off the pole pace, and no, doesn't improve as he crosses the line this time around. Welshie obviously now a second down on Kieran's lap. What can Welshie do from his position in the Acura? Can he break the 2-minute mark and get under 2 minutes?
As far as I'm aware, this is also a new car for him as well, isn't it?
Yeah, was in the Lamborghini last year. The Pro-Am runner-up.
And he's also on the wheel.
On the wheel, yeah.
Right for this season
on the
well.
Logitech G29, in a new car, with a new teammate, in the division above. A lot of hard work for Welshie to do this year.
Coming around the chicane. Last chicane, should I say.
And towards the final corner.
He can improve on his time.
Michael Matthews just switching to the controller on the PS5 in case it's a PlayStation issue. Alright, no problem. As Welshie crosses the line and does improve. And he's only 6 thousandths from getting out of that 2-minute mark then. So unfortunate for him. Yeah, switching to the PS5 is peaceful in case it's a PS4 issue. Dean Rosocki still in the pits. Will we see him come out before the final part of qualifying? Master and Gary under a second from G. Andy's currently fourth. D-Biggs doing well up in P5. Jamie can't seem to get anything done as D-Biggs doesn't improve his time as he crosses the line. Big Boy Brazier still in P6 at the moment. Hasn't really improved his times throughout the session. And we've got Unorthodox down in 7th place in the Ferrari with Little Leach in 8th. That's Mazda just running it a bit much curve, too much curve there. Phil down in P9 after Little Leach is P8 with Fury down in 10th. Deeks is 11th with Argent P12, Welshie 13th and Dean Wasocki P14. That was Argent just coming to the end of his lap, so let's see what he can do. Any improvement this time around from Argent? No, not this time at all.
Looks like Gary's just came out at pits.
Maybe tweaking the setup just a little bit more. He's gone back in. Mazda then. Track time in the McLaren. Running the McLaren at full beam. Obviously on the night we'll be running the restricted McLaren due to new rules being brought in this season. So what does Mazda do this lap? Crosses a line and doesn't improve. Peaceful's back in. That was Welshie or Deeks just crossing the line, but I didn't see an improvement from them neither. It was Deeks who crossed the line. Didn't see no improvement from him. Gary's back out the pits. G's back out the pits as well. Yeah, G I think was just keeping out of people's way heading into turn 1. Oh, there's Fury. Oh, he's just gone round at the hairpin. Just carried too much speed into that and just lost it. Round he went. Needs to get that one out of the way. He's rolling to the right now, so he is moving out the way here. Fiori pretty new to the wheel as well. Got the wheel back end of last year. Had it just in time for our 24-hour event that we ran at Simplay. So he's not had it too long.
Some very good memories from the 24-hour event.
Kieran crosses the line and no improvement from him. How did your 24-hour event go?
Well,
disqualified in the pits, wasn't it?
I think so. I think the first 14 hours was actually pretty fun.
Brilliant.
There was a lot of problems with T150 from Gary and Little Beach during the 24-hour of...
Yeah, overheating problems, didn't it? Yeah. Massive problems for them too.
And I'm on the G29 myself, so I was...
You're not on the you're on the T150 now. You're on the T150. Wrong brand of wheel.
Yeah. The T150, there we go. I'm on that. Over the 24-hour race, I was also stressing a bit to make sure that mine didn't overheat, because well, no one really wants their wheel to overheat during the race. And that's Mazda just coming out the pits there.
It is, yeah. Deke's just going across the line. No improvement for Deeks again this time around. There's Andy. Down in P5 now as D-Biggs is improved. Phil's just crossed the line. No improvement for Phil. Excuse me, that time either. 8 minutes left of the session. Peaceful is back out on track. Hopefully it's working. Phil, oh, there's just a bit of a bump when you go over turn 1 like that, and it can just sort of unsettle the car a bit.
Yeah.
Phil and Dean both in the pit lane. Dean Wasocki actually took a pole position here in the reverse grid race last season in the Pro Group. Took the pole position in the Acura, so knows the track quite well, enjoys the track. I wonder how he would be feeling going into this one, especially going into next season as well. No, you're not keeping us up, Fury's granddad, just a bit tired. A bit tired today.
Now, from looks of it, Peaceful does look a lot quicker now. A bit of
a slide there from him. Not seen Dean out the pits for a while here, so he's clearly not going to get the last couple of laps or last couple of minutes in as near enough 2 minutes a lap. He's only going to get about 3-4 laps in if he gets out now. G then, quickest man on the circuit. We've actually just lost Dean.
Oh, I wonder if he's changing car possibly.
Not sure where he's gone.
Oh, who's that one?
That's Little Each. Yeah, Little Each take to the grass. Do you want to start? Do you want to join Dean in, because he's just invited me to a party? So do you want to bring him in?
Yeah.
We'll see if we can get a word from Dean Wasocki then. See if he can get back into the session. Fury still parked on the side, so hopefully Fury gets going as well. Big Boy Brazier's in the pit lane, so he's running out of time to get laps in as we see G through the Schumacher S's. Nicely done from G there as well. There's D Biggs behind him as well as Dean Wasocki joins us live in the commentary box now. Dean, a good lap time in that Lamborghini from you, a 2:01 dead. We can't hear from Dean at the moment.
Looks like his mic's actually still loading in.
Ah, right. So that might be the case. Here comes G then.
Coming up to the last corner after doing that last chicane. See if he can improve on his time.
Yeah, round into the final corner now. What can the only G get out of this last couple of laps here? 5 minutes remaining in the session, and obviously we've got the 8-lap race to come as well. And it'll be interesting to see what G is capable of as he's crossed the line, and no improvement from him. D-Biggs as well crossed the line but stayed in P4 then. Into turn 1. Here's Welsh, currently can't break the 2 minute mark yet. A 2 minute .006, 6 thousandths of a second from getting into that 159 mark, and no improvement this time around. Can he do it next lap? We'll have to wait and see, as Little Leach puts it back in the pits with 5 minutes left then. It'll be interesting to see what we can get at a Little Leach. Here's Fury, he's going again. So I'm sure this isn't going to be his best lap, but obviously he'll go again next time around. Gary just behind him. What can Gary get out of this lap time? Any improvement from Gary? 131 crosses the line and does not improve there at all. Just 3 tenths between him and G. This could be the battle of next season, Liam.
Yeah.
Looks like
a bit of a spin
there. Bit of a slide, bit of a half spin for Gary, half a slide for Gary as Fury keeps out the way. Little Leach and Big Boy Brazy then in the pits with 4.5 minutes remaining, and I think we now have Dean Wisocki in the commentary box. Dean, good lap from you in the Lamborghini. Pace feel good?
No, I don't really like it.
Obviously the car of your choice for next season with you and DJ Phil. Obviously the rules say you can change your car up until the 3rd round, but you have to forfeit any points. Is that something that could happen then?
Yeah.
Obviously team decision, that'll have to be. Argent's going to cross the line now, and comes across the line, doesn't improve on his lap time there. That's Deeks in the background, I do believe. What can Deeks do? That's Dean, yeah, Dean coming out in the Acura. Deeks in the background, crosses line, no improvement. We saw G. G's had a bit of a spin at the final corner.
G's been spinning around quite a lot, in fact.
Yeah, he has struggled a bit. Yeah, struggled a bit. D-Biggs was just about to cross the line. No improvement from him. And there is Welsh, I do believe, who's coming around the last corner as well. What can Welsh do? Can he break? Oh, no, it wasn't him, but we'll stick with him. We'll stick with Welshie then. Big Boy Brazier and Unorthodox in the pits with 3 minutes 19 left. And here goes Welshie now. Down the start straight he goes, and what can he do here? Still can't break that 2 minute marker, can Welshie. Deeks on a 1:59.3. That is Unorthodox coming back out the pits. Where's Gary? G's back in the pits. Unorthodox coming out. Big Boy Brazier in the pits. Gary's just crossed the line. No improvement from him. Phil in the background as well. Can we see Phil improve? No. Still P9 for him. 2 seconds down on pole. That's Mazda. Yeah, Mazda. What can Mazda do here? 3 tenths behind Gary. 6 tenths off the pole lap. No improvement for Mazda. They're obviously running at full pace tonight, not with running with his restrictions. Obviously Mazda would have been another one in the pro category that you would have said could have won the title, but now has the car restrictions, so that his, even when Mazda's flat out, his pace is still similar, excuse me, to that of the Pro-Am guys, so he's gonna be really hampered next season.
Looks like Little Luke just came out of the pit.
Yeah, he has. Big Boy Brazier and G, the only guys still in, and I don't think they've got to get out now to get a lap time in. So I don't think we're going to see G and Brazier get a time in here.
Fury?
Yeah,
that's Fury.
Yeah, Fury's slow. Looks like he's getting going now. It's quite damaged, doesn't it? Looks like damage, yeah. Oh, there is a car coming round. Who is that? That's Peaceful or Argent.
Looks like,
it's Peaceful.
That looks peaceful. Oh, there we are.
Ooh. And just got caught up there, did Peaceful explosion at the chicane. Fury going into pits, that's Andy behind.
Do you Peaceful can get his time in, because I think he's already done his outlap in fact.
He's done a time earlier. No, Fury's granddad's just informed us that the car isn't turning properly for him. That might be Fury's problem tonight. Peaceful does a 2:01.3. I do believe he's on the pad though, as obviously the wheels just playing up a bit. So I do believe he's on the pad, so that will be something Peaceful will need to sort going into next season. There's Andy, currently P5. So GD Biggs, Big Boy Brazier and Fury are done for today's session. Then they are in the pits with 50 seconds remaining. So they are done. There will be an 8-lap race at the end of this one to do. But for them four, at the moment, they are done with their time. So who's coming towards the back end of the circuit? Let's have a look. So Peaceful obviously midway through. Welshie, he's just coming through the first part. Argent's coming towards the back end of his lap. I don't think Argent will get another time in. DJ Phil saying Andy for the win in the little practice race. Deeks is at the Schumacher S's. And Orthodub's at the beginning of his lap. I think we'll stay with Argent, see if he gets a line. If you no dives into turn 1, says Jamie Brazier. No, we saw the DJ Phil dive last night, and that went a bit wrong for him. As Argent comes into the final corner, will not get another time in. Practice is complete, so Kieran will be the first car to finish his lap and finish his practice session, and does not improve on his time. Who's next up coming across the line? That is Little Leach. What can Little Leach do as he's going to cross the line then? We keep our eyes on the timing boards. Currently P6 for Little Leach and stays P6. We've next got Dean Wysocki testing the Acura. What is Dean going to do as he crosses the line? A 2-minute dead, 2-minute .3. That's Deeks or Welshie coming across the line. Deeks didn't improve. Then we've got Peaceful, who jumps up into P9 with a 157.5, so good lap from Peaceful Explosion. Not quite sure who we've got coming round next, we'll have to find out. There's Unorthodox, we'll stick with Unorthodox then. Andy's in the wall, so yeah, we'll stick with Unorthodox. Oh no, we've got Deeks. Welshie's about to finish his lap. Jump onto Welshie quickly. Welshie and then Unorthodox. Can Welshie break that 2-minute mark then and get into the 159s? No, he can't. Can Unorthodox improve? No, he can't. Peaceful's done, Argent's done, Welshie's done, Dean's done. Andy obviously in the wall at the moment. I'll take that on the pad, says Peaceful.
Sandbag.
Well, if I was you.
I was in here when Dad said fires. Yeah, my God.
And he's just retired if I'm right.
Yeah, I think it's just now the session will be done. So G takes the overall pace at the moment, and is that what we're going to see in the pro category next season? What can we see from G? Gary P2, Mazda, the Pro-Am driver, running full pace into P3. So a good drive from Mazda with D-Biggs 4th, Andy in 5th place, Little Leach in 6th. Big Boy Brazier down to 7th place with Unorthodox 8th, Peaceful 7th, Phil in 11th, Phil in 10th, Fury 11th, Deeks 12th, Argent 13th, Welshie 14th, Dean Wysocki 15th place. As we get ready for the race then.
So it looks like, oh no, because it scrambles up, don't it, for...
Yeah, it's not qualifying, so it is just a mixed grid.
We've got Andy in first.
Yeah, so Andy starts pole with Phil in 2nd, Big Boy Brazier 3rd, G 4th place with Unorthodox 5th, Master 6th, D-Big 7th, Gary 8th, Little Leach 9th, Peaceful 10th, Fury 11th, D Eeks in 12th, Welshie 13th, Dean Wysocki 14th, and Kieran on the back row. So Bar Mazda, the 2 Pro-Am guys on the back. Bar Mazda, it's the pro front row of the grid.
This is the boring part when we're waiting.
Yeah,
for
when we're just waiting for everybody to ready up. Yeah. So who's going to be the saviour into turn 1? Who's going to dive bomb where? What else is going to happen throughout the course? Go on then, little 8 lap late race, Liam. Who's going to win?
I would have said G purely for his times, but the amount he's been spinning off kind of makes me look at either Mazda. He's had some connection problems. I would say he could be there, but as I say, connection problems. Gary, I reckon he could do pretty well, as from it looks like they're actually starting.
Yeah, we are about to get going then. Andy and Phil, the 2 Lamborghinis on the front row, and the lights are on. We're green at Nürburgring for the practice race before next week, and everybody seems to get away well. Look at the start, Big Boy Brazy's got Dean Wysocki in the background. You see there, gets a great start as well. Bit of rubbing and shoving between the other Acora of Welshie. Gary's backed out to this one as we all head down to turn one, and Big Boy Brazy looks like he's going to send one on Andy, and up the inside he goes, but he's outbraked himself. So has Andy a little bit. Phil goes up the inside, takes the lead. Bit of a tap from D-Biggs on G. G's been caught up in an incident, and Orthodox has worked his way into P5 at the moment behind Big Boy Brazier. There's Phil then, who leads this race, capitalised on Jamie and Andy running wide, but Andy in second place trying to hunt him down with Big Boy Brazier sat third. Mazda just dropping back into P4. The quickest lads here at Simplay Motorsport with Mazda, Dean and Kieran from the Pro-Am category there, and the top 5 already breaking away, and there's a Mercedes very, very round, and I think that is Peaceful Explosion. It is Peaceful Explosion who has gone round. He will have major damage on the back of his car. Welshie trundling along as well. But at the moment then, Mazda up into 4th. Gary's 5th. He kind of hung back at the start, but Gary up into 6th place doing bits. Big Boy Brazier looking to attack Andy as Mazda was looking to attack Jamie as well.
Looks like Mazda was swaying on the inside as well after that turn to try and go up the...
So into the Schumacher Cresses. Andy looks like he was just having a look at Phil and then did vent. Oh, and Big Boy Brazy gives him a big clout in the rear. Bit late on the brakes was Jamie there and gives Andy a big clout into the wall. And Andy resets the car and away we go now. Does Jamie Brazy have damage on that Lamborghini as Mazda and Unorthodox are hunting him down? And look at Unorthodox round the back straight, really pulling out and having a look at Mazda. But Mazda has the toe with Jamie. Unorthodox has a double toe and Jamie goes a bit over defensive there. Can't stop Unorthodox going up the inside. Unorthodox gets the job done on Mazda and he's still trying to hassle Jamie. But back comes Mazda up the inside towards the final corner. Gary in the background just watching all of this unfold. Phil though still leads the way at the moment.
Looks like Mazda actually hit that what's it called?
Chicane?
The chicane, yeah.
Here we go, then could be 3 wide going down into P1. Andy's just received a penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Unorthodox backs out the 3 wide. Jamie manages to get it turned in this time. This is a good little battle at the moment, allowing Phil to pull away and maybe allowing Gary to catch up. Mazda just gives Jamie a bit of a tap up the rear and loses the balance of the car, and off he goes into the grass then at the side. That will allow Gary to gain on Mazda. Phil though at the moment well out in front. Peaceful still struggling to even get round to the pit lane. Just coming in now, you see, with no rear wing. Big damage on that car. Peaceful's got a lot of work to do. D-Biggs has just passed Fury, then 4P 10. He's now on the back of Dean Wysocki. What can he do to get in front? Let's wait and see. For Little Leach down in 8th. He's just passed Argent for 7th place. G is currently 6th place, though. You see these 3 a bit spread out. Gary, G and Little Leach ahead of D-Biggs. Argent must have had a problem because Dean and D-Biggs have passed him. So Argent must have made a mistake somewhere because Dean and D-Biggs have flew past then. So Dean and D-Biggs P8 and P9 now, and D-Biggs trying to hunt down Dean within the second of him. Can D-Biggs get the job done? There he is.
Quite close to each other. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, D-Biggs. Oh, he looks very quick through there, does D-Biggs, compared to Dean in the Acora. Dean runs a bit wide onto the gravel, gets a bit unstable on the car, and D-Biggs is allowed to just sail past as easy as you like. Peaceful Explosion has retired from the race. Unorthodox P3, Mazda's catching him, and they're all catching Phil now. They're not squabbling. They're all able to start reeling Phil in, and look at Jamie. He is really catching Phil. Had a drive through to do, so it did that, and then wanted me to do another lap with 100% rear damage. Not my night. No, not your night. Hopefully your night next week though, Peaceful. Mazda having a look on Unorthodox on the exit to Tier 1. G's gaining on Gary as well.
Looks like Gary actually went a bit.
Yeah, it looks
wide.
like Gary's got damage actually there. That front that Porsche looks like it's hit something. Oh, he's lost the rear there. Oh, and just gets caught with G. As they both get going, Little Eats looks like he's going to take the both of them. Gary, yeah, looks like he's got damage on the front of that car. Maybe that's why he lost the front so easily there then. What can D-Biggs do about getting on the back of Gary now then? The other Porsche
Who's that coming up? That would be Dean.
Dean coming up, P9 at the moment. Argent just behind him, P10.
That
Argent looks like he's hit something hard there because...
the inside,
yeah.
Side looks
Left-hand
like
side of it
bending.
looks like he's hit something on the front that left-hand side. And also, when he come out the complex earlier, it just looked like it pulled right on him a bit. So I wonder if he's got some suspension damage on that car. That's not what he wanted if he was hoping to try and catch Dean Wasocki then. Big Boy Brazy has overtaken Phil for the lead, and Unorthodox and Mazda are all over the back of him as well. Mazda not so much actually looking at that, but Phil trying to gain on the back of Big Boy Brazy, and he's got Unorthodox with him as well. Phil's going to look around the outside. Is he going to sooty send one? No. Was there a tap from Unorthodox? He's just tapped Big Boy Brazier, which is allowing Mazda to come through. Did Unorthodox touch Phil on the rear? Because Phil seemed to lose it, or did Phil just lose it on the brakes? But Mazda now up into P2. And Mazda looking comfortable in that car so far. Jamie's pulled to the side so he doesn't give away the slipstream. But Mazda tries and follows him. And look at the tactics from Jamie here, weaving all over the place. What's happened to Little Leach? He's dropped down to P10 now. So has he had a spin? Oh dear, Little Leach must have had a spin somewhere because he's dropped down into P10.
No.
He's behind Argent, Dean, D Biggs, G and Gary's now got past him as well. Mazda, the actual quickest man out on track last time around. Phil. Now, was he tapped in the rear from Unorthodox under braking? Or did he just lose it on his own? Either way, the front three, look at the battle the front three are having. Big Boy Brazier here really defending hard against Mazda and Unorthodox. The Ferrari and the McLaren, though. Shame them. Mazda's not in the Pro in the McLaren because it looks like it's got great pace.
Definitely.
So is the Ferrari on its Simplay debut. Obviously, it makes its league debut next week. Oh, as I say that, an Unorthodox just cannot finish it off. He's round again, and just like the Renault Clios, he sees the win go up in smoke. And I'm sure he'll thank me for saying that one. But he's down into P5 now. He's got Gary catching him as well. But that's allowed Mazda and Jamie to fight this battle out. A tenth between the two of them. And Mazda will have the slipstream all the way down this back straight. A flash of the lights from the McLaren there. What can he do? Got his lights on. He means business, does Mazda. What is he going to do into this chicane? Jamie's already defended it. Mazda's going to have to try the long way around. Can't get it done. What's his exit like compared to Jamie's? Not so good this time around. He keeps the exits pretty similar. In fact, Jamie got a decent exit, in fact. But Mazda then...
Jamie's actually pulling away from Mazda a little bit.
Yeah, he did through the chicane. Oh, dirty, dirty tactics from Jamie there, weaving like that. That's not what you want to see. Jamie weaving all over the place to defend. Gets turned into the first corner, though, just nicely. There's D Biggs.
And is
Little Leach has passed Kieran. And now Little Leach is going to hunt down Dean Wasocki. Lap 5 of 8. Mazda quickest man on track. No, it wasn't. G was quickest with a 58 dead last time around, and he's back in the pit lane. But look at Mazda all over the back of Jamie here. And you have to say Mazda's driving brilliantly with these pro lads at the moment.
Just a shame he's had to come down.
Yeah, just a shame because of work. He had to give up his spot. We didn't think we would get Mazda back in this early, and it meant that because we'd promoted the drivers, Mazda couldn't get back in the Pro Championship, unfortunately. But he's putting the pressure on Jamie here. Obviously, all counts for nothing. It's all about next week and what they can bring to the table next week. Here's Phil, who's working hard at the moment. Gary's up into 6th place, but I reckon he's got damage on that car. Little Leach is gaining all over the back of Dean Wasocki then, so let's see what Little Leach can do against Dean Wasocki. Mazda's got that gap really close at the moment, but we're watching this battle. Oh, Mazda looks like he's had to cut the chicane a bit there, so Mazda has lost all that time. We didn't see what had happened, but Mazda has lost all that time to Jamie then. Oh, that's Fury off. So I wonder if he's still having problems with turning the car in. Yeah, it's Fury. Unorthodox just putting a lap on his teammate. Where's the Little Leach Dean Wasaki battle? Let's go back to that one. Little Leach gaining on Dean towards the final corner. In fact, Dean's gone defensive already, making Little Leach go the long way around. Little Leach wise to that though. And here he goes down the straight, down towards the first corner.
Oh,
Little Leach takes to the grass. Oh, he's touched the grass. And it sent him all over the place on the brakes. How he's not managed to lose it bigger than that. He's kept hold of that absolutely brilliantly there as Little Leach. I think Dean may have brown shorts after this one, because that was a bit of a scary moment there. And Little Leach, he's lost the car this time round though, and Kieran will gain an extra place. So pressure off of Dean on lap 6. Mazda's got the lead though, Liam.
I wonder what happened there, Van.
Yeah, what's happened to Jamie? Mazda's got the lead. Phil's down in 6th. So has Mazda and Phil had a bit of it? No, because Phil wasn't really close to Jamie. So I wonder if Phil's had a moment and Jamie's had a moment then. Because Phil's lost out to G. Gary on Orthodubs. And Mazda now leads this race ahead of Big Boy Brazier. Showing his talents tonight, Liam.
Definitely.
Really, he's been, really has been impressive, Anti. Whatever you put him in, like you say, he drives.
Yeah.
Really superb driving from this man. GP3. Gary and Unorthodox side by side in the background. Coming down towards the chicane. Onto the brakes, into the chicane, there you go. I'm sure Gary's got damage to that Porsche. And Unorthodox goes past quite easy there. Phil just behind with D-Biggs behind them. And Dean looks like he's under pressure from Argent according to the timing screens. Couple of tenths in it. In fact, Argent side by side with Dean Wasaki. Andy just behind, but there's a lap down. And Dean and Argent touch, but they've both ran deep into the chicane. Now, I'm adamant Argent's got damage to his car, because if you look at it in a straight, it just looks like it pulls right. I'm wondering if that's why Argent is struggling here. And that's why him and Dean made contact there. Because you look at it's just coming right a bit, isn't it? You just see it. Just struggling a bit. Lap 7 of 8 though. Mazda's starting to pull away from Big Boy Brazier here. That gap's a bit bigger compared to what it was a moment ago. Oh, and Orthodub's on the back of Gary with Phil on the back of him, and D-Big's not too far behind here. Gary's got back in front of an Orthodubs, but an Orthodubs looks like he could have Gary into the hairpin. Has he outbraked himself? No. I think he has run a little too deep. He's managed to hold it though, you know, over Gary. So brilliant stuff there. Phil's now on the back of Gary. Gary won't mind though. He'll have the slipstream of Unorthodox coming down the back straight. Oh, Gary's gone a bit wide. Gary's gone very wide and allows Phil through. Can D-Biggs get him? Yes, he can. So Gary, who looks like he might have damage on his Porsche as well. Someone has just retired from that race. Deeks. I do believe it's Deeks who's retired. Yeah, there's Dean, look, with Kieran and Lidleach all over the back. So a bit of a three-way battle here between these guys. This for P780. Oh, he has his span and a big clout on the wall. Too quick through the Schumacher S's, and Lidleach has had a bit of a spin.
Doing donuts now.
There's Andy just unlapping himself.
Oh, no. Yeah, Andy. No,
so it's just between Dean and Kieran now for this battle. Kieran will have the slipstream, but you see that front left of the car badly damaged. I'm adamant he's got suspension damage there, because there's just something doesn't look right about that in a straight line. Kieran then into the chicane on the brakes, gets it turned in this time.
Right, looking at the angle that we're looking at, it looks like it's actually...
It just seems to keep coming right all the time.
We'll see.
So here's Jamie, half a second to Mazda. Oh, G's had a moment. Where's G gone?
He might have been.
Oh, yeah, we've lost G as well. G's retired from the race as well. But we'll come back to this battle in just a moment. Let's see Dean and Argent again, because they're still close. A bit closer than what Mazda and Big Boy Brazier are. And Kieran looks up the inside and taps the rear of Dean. Kieran just later on the brakes just tapped Dean around.
Dean goes a little bit too wide on that turn.
So back to the battle at the front then.
Looks like Mazda's actually pulling...
yeah, he's pulled a bit of a gap, hasn't he?
He's pulled a second of a gap, in fact, and he's actually pulling further if you look at the times.
Yeah, I reckon Mazda's got this job done as he's coming down to the final chicane for the final time tonight. You'll see him live on the circuit with Dean Wysocki, Kieran Argent and Liam Gamer in the Pro-Am category. Obviously Mazda running with restrictions, so may not be showing this pace next week, we'll have to see. But Mazda in the Pro race will take the win, and how much he'll be kicking himself for dropping out, but it looks like Mazda's going to win this one. He takes it in the McLaren with Jamie Brazier coming home in second place. On Orthodubs, can he hold on to third? Let's see. It looks like he's going to do just that. He comes round the final corner and down the straight. On Orthodubs, he's going to take P3. Phil is going to take P4 with D-Biggs in 5th place. Andy is retired as well. We've got Gary who's going to cross the line for 6th. Argent has stayed in front of Dean. In fact, where is Dean gone? He must have lost it because he's had another moment and is now fell into the back of Little Each. But Argent will see him cross the line in P7 as he's coming into the final corner now. Oh, ran a bit wide there, did Argent. Down into the final corner and around he goes. And Kieran Argent will finish P7. Dean Wysocki, can he stay in front of Little Each for P8? There is Little Each. The line comes up very quickly. Very wide, very wide. In fact, loses the rear of the car. So Dean will take P8. Little Each is going to come home P9. Going to do it in reverse because why not? Little Each then crosses the line P9. Where is Welshie? He's going to finish in front of Fury. Welshie going to finish P10. And for Fury then, struggled all night, he said, with the car, just doesn't feel like it's turning into the corners properly.
Got his front bumper, in fact, hanging off.
Yeah, just dangling off. Fury then comes round the final chicane. Couple of laps down is Fury. Oh, he's got he's lost it. He's lost it. He's got 23 seconds to complete the race.
I don't think Fury's going to be too happy with the result tonight.
No, but plenty of time still to get going ahead of next week and to look forward for that one. Fury is going to cross the line P11. We lost Andy, we lost G, we lost Deeks, and we lost Peaceful Explosion in that one. But Mazda took the race win from Big Boy Brazier and Orthodubs. Phil D-Biggs, Gary Argent, Dean Wysocki, Little Each, and Welshie. Andy retired. G finished P13, Peaceful 14th, and Deeks DQ'd, so Deeks must not have readied up. But that was all we've got then from Simplay Motorsport. Liam, thanks for joining me in the commentary box tonight.
Thank you for letting me in the commentary box tonight.
Pleasure to have you here. Maybe we can get you in a bit more during the course of the season. Join us next Wednesday then. There'll be a video released on Monday of the hot lap. Join us next Monday for the first race of the season over here at Simplay Motorsport in the Pro-Am category at the Nürburgring. Live weather, 8 PM. Make sure you tune in to see that one. And join us Thursday night as well to tune in for the Pro category, 8 PM with the live weather. So the weather's not going to be the same for both races this time round. But from all of us here at Simplay Motorsport, thank you and good night.